Now we all know and we've seen Drake. you just right there you can know where I'm about to head that where I'm about to go with this. But there seems to be a curse, the Drake feature curse, because if you know Drake and you know people who may blow up, there's always a feature that comes right after, besides Smiley. However, he got that damn feature. I don't know how the hell he got that feature. But for everybody else, there's always Drake at the clutches of their hands. So talk to me. What the hell is this about? What
For
is this
years,
about?
people
Talk to
have
me.
talked about Drake giving new artists a major boost with a
Who is this? Who is this? Is this Black Boy? Okay, okay. Who is that? And who is this? Like, who the hell are these people? I get this is Four Bats and this is Black Boy, but who the fuck is this? Is this Black Boy? Who the fuck are these
feature,
people?
either on one of their songs or guesting on his projects, because he's
Facts,
seen as
facts, and then and then at the forefront of it, they end up blowing up more because of it. Even though they already just blew up, but they blow up more and they get pushed out. Then they get a deal, and then some of these niggas who end up staying longer, like J. Cole, I'm not, afterwards, they end up might getting number one because of the Drake feature. So
so many rappers on over the years, it's no surprise that a lot of them feel indebted to him. I message Drake like, you're a cool dude, you know what I'm saying? He like, right. He real observant. So
even
this has
though
been
he
a
got, even
time
though
like
Lil Baby killed this nigga on at least two of the songs. Yes, indeed, I think was the song people say Drake killed him on. I can't even really remember unless I hear it, but we all know this nigga Lil Baby is a killer.
like 2018, we're gonna make it happen, but we made it happen for real. But while we all know the success stories of people like Lil Baby and 21 Savage, what happens when the Drake cosign backfires and becomes the highlight of your career?
Oh,
And does that
I
feature
would
from
hate if that happened. I would fucking hate if that happened, bro. Is this Lil Durk? Don't tell me this is Lil Durk. Don't fucking tell me this is Lil Durk. What the fuck? Okay, I understand Black Boy. I understand for about. Don't tell me this is Lil Durk though. Who the fuck is this?
Z come with strings attached? That means you can never escape his shadow.
Cause that's not Lil Durk. That's Baba Durk.
And does that
That's
feature from
Baba Durk.
Drizzy
I
come with
don't know
strings
who the fuck this nigga. That's Baba Durk.
attached? That means you can never escape his shadow. From Kendrick Lamar accusing Drake of, quote, running to Atlanta when he needs a few
That
dollars,
chalice.
and specifically mentioning how he
Let me
uses
break
his
it down
features
for
with
you.
rap.
This is a real nigga challenge. You call Future when you didn't see the club. Little baby helped you get your lingo up. 21 give you false street cred. Thug make you feel like you a slime in your head. Quavo said you could be from North Side. 2 Chainz said you good, but he lie. You run to Atlanta when you need a few dollars. You are not a colleague. You a fucking colonizer. The family matter and the truth of the matter. It was God planned to show y'all the liar. Ugh.
Like Future, 21 Savage, Lil Baby, and 2 Chainz, as a way to be more accepted by the culture, it highlights a deeper
Wait,
point that
is
I want to
Quavo
dive
from Atlanta? I could hear it in his voice, but I never knew.
into later in the video. Because these days, we have rappers like Rod Wave, a top selling rapper with a
Facts.
die-hard fan base, and the ability to sell out huge venues worldwide, even going as far as to turn down a feature from Drake.
Oh wow! Wade said he was supposed to be on Drake's Lemon Pepper freestyle. Explains why he didn't happen. I like that. Niggas
So
should
it's
turn
clear
down
that
Drake a little more sometimes. But I get it. If you're just blowing up and you just blew up like Four Bats did, are you really gonna turn down a Drake feature? But at the same time, bro, you have no fan base. Four Bats came out and he only had 3 fucking songs and one of them blew up. He had no fan base. He had nobody looking at him already. So him to do that, him to have that make that move was probably stupid because are you ever gonna be able to outdo that ever again? It happens.
something fishy is going on. But before we get into how things went so wrong, I first need to explain how Drizzy got this reputation as a cheat code for success. By the year
Man,
2020, Drake assisted 32 artists to their highest Hot 100
crazy.
position at the time.
Black Boy, 2 Chainz, and ASAP Rocky. What? Yeah, Future. I love. We all know that it's crazy they did that with Kendrick Lamar, but it happens. Kendrick was a little less at the time until he ended up outshining the fuck out of Drake. It's okay, we get it. Lil Durk, I see. Playboy Cardi is so crazy because who I would have thought he would already have one. The Weeknd is even crazier because I would have thought he already had one. Damn. They jumped an average of 19 places from their previous peak. Lil Baby 65, Lil Durk 41, Offset. Where was Offset at? Offset solo, okay. 37, Romo Santos 34, and Future 36. He assisted multiple times. 6 he assisted multiple times. Fresh Potato won 2. Party Next Door had 3. Rick Ross had 2. Simfa had 2. Travis Scott had 2, and Future had 2. Yeah, this nigga was the goddamn
This
catalyst
included
to
major
blowing. This nigga was the catalyst to being at the top.
That's like Kendrick Lamar, Future, Lil Baby, and many, many more. On average, the artists climbed up 19 spots from their previous highest position. Plus, 18 of these artists had never even
Have
made it
never
onto the
charted. And guess whose name is not on there? I don't even gotta fucking say it. I don't even gotta say it. I don't gotta say it because y'all already fucking see it. It's crazy that The Weeknd was never on the Hot 100. Summer Walker, but it's actually kind of crazy because the amount of fans that she has is crazy. Even A$AP Rocky is also just as insane. But we'll move on.
In the first place before they got that Drake stimmy. His peak moment of helping other artists came in 2017 when he brought 7 fellow rappers onto the billboards, or at least gave them a boost. By 2021, he'd appear on 41 projects as a guest since 2015, and
Jesus.
30 times out of those 41, his track had the highest streams on Spotify and YouTube for the entire project.
That's crazy.
And of course, Drake didn't just let those numbers speak for themselves. He's constantly boasted about these accomplishments on songs like Mob Ties.
I would too. I fucking would too if I helped all these motherfuckers get to where they, bro. Who wouldn't brag about that? That's crazy.
And now that Drake is facing opposition from artists like Future, Rick Ross, The Weeknd, and Kendrick Lamar during the rap civil war that's taken a hold of the game, his track Push-Ups also hinted towards those who benefited from the stimulus package, with shots like every song that made it onto the charts he got from Drizzy, and your first number 1, I had to put it in your hand. Because of the reputation as a hitmaker,
I think that was either about Rocky, Future, or Ross. I don't think it was about Drake or Kendrick, because what? No way.
The artist's career, it's meant that getting the guest spot from Drake outshines cosigns from legends in the industry.
A Jay-Z feature is still considered one of the most important features you can get to this day.
To this day,
this was especially true for someone like Lil Durk, who was famously featured on Drake's absolute smash hit, Laugh Now, Cry Later.
In the studio,
I could have sworn that was Durk's song, but whatever.
Drake come through the DM, see your number. Man, you told me this before. I put the bill on that compilation he did, like 4 songs, and get on it. So when he said, "Give me his number," he sent the song through. I called everybody. "Are you rich? It's over with." Like shit, he got that touch for real. You yeah, I turned to a fan. I called everybody. Mama, it's over with. I'm finna do this motherfucker. We finna fuck him up on. We finna go. And then so we came out, and the song was during the pandemic. Yeah. Straight to 100.
It was a hit.
And then it just shout out to Drizzy, man. Yeah, shout out Drake though. He definitely helped the motherfucker out there.
Praised by so many who got that first taste of the billboard through him, it's one of the few things that, until recently at least, most of his fellow MCs were happy to salute Drizzy for.
I'm the only person that put on for me when I ain't had nobody was Drake. I'm talking about Drake was the first person to put on before anybody. He didn't want to sign me. Yeah. He didn't want. It was like, yo, that's raw talent, yo. You gotta shine, yo. I'm gonna see to it. I'm forever owe Drake.
Well, that's a little awkward
and that
now.
Sucks considering. I'm glad he beat me to the punch, but that's crazy considering this.
During the recent events that's taken the game by storm. But as much as Drake fans like to talk about how he can basically give rappers exposure or even revive their careers, this is only one side of the story. Because for every success for people like Flacco, Savage, or The Weeknd, there are people like BlocBoy JB, Sosa Geek, OVO Signese Division in the UK gigs, who haven't returned to the Billboard charts ever since.
Their niggas fell off the face of the planet. Where are they?
Others who kept their place in the game, the problem is that they just failed to replicate the early rush of
publicity
that came from the Drizzy feature. That's why when the new artist Forbats got a collab with Drake, which debuted with 3 million streams in its opening 24 hours on Spotify, not everyone saw it as a good thing for his future. So, who are the artists whose careers capsized after getting the call from Drake? And how much is he to blame? When you think of an artist who fell off after getting the Drake feature, they don't come much bigger than BlocBoy JB. A Memphis MC who initially garnered attention with tracks like Shoot, Rover featuring 21 Savage, and The Dance That Fortnite would later steal, BlocBoy JB found himself getting the famed DM from Drizzy, where he claimed he was his favorite rapper. They would eventually collab on a hit song titled Look Alive, and it went
That's crazy to hear that type of lie, I'm not gonna lie.
As it basically took over the game and quickly landed BlocBoy in the XXL Freshman list for 2018, as well as a record deal with Interscope. Peaking at number 5 on the Billboard charts, the track's official video now has over 390 million views on YouTube alone. But for all the momentum he had, it's all just evaporated once Drizzy did what he always does and moved on to the next hot thing. When his debut album Fat Boy dropped in 2020, it failed to chart, and the same unfortunately goes for 2022's Back to the Block. Although he still has his loyal core fans, resulting in 2.4 million listeners on Spotify, he struggled to come to terms with the negative impact that Look Alive had on his career, even when people pointed out to him.
Nah, Look Alive was nasty. Look alive, look alive. Nah, that shit was cold.
In some ways, you kind of blew up so fast that it gave people weird expectations of what was supposed to be coming from you.
Not to be honest, I feel like I didn't even blow up that fast. It's just like motherfuckers weren't even on me. So when I had this song, it blew up. I didn't blow up. The song blew up. Mm-hmm. So
I like that he put it that way because he didn't blow up. The song blew up, which then catapulted him into an expectation to always be at that level like he was in that song.
And then just know that I had like fucking 4 mixtapes out before this shit. So I always had a grind anyways. So I feel like people just don't understand that.
Even though things aren't in his favor, BlocBoy is confident that good things are coming his way.
That's good.
He still believes he'll rise to the top again and will eventually step out of Drake's shadow.
Yeah, they're tuned out, and guess what? They're gonna come back again. Mm-hmm. If I see, like, it's just time. It just take time. And, like, the longer you keep rapping and the more you keep going, it's the bigger your fan base get. Like, I know when I first dropped them were my real fans. Like, I already knew that because every time I look at my comments, let's see something about Drake or some shit. But now, like, the comments change.
Yeah,
what's interesting is that these days,
I like that.
BlocBoy is trying to ride the same
I like his thinking with that.
By reaching out to Drake for another collaboration. This time, he didn't just slide into Drake's DMs, but he made it public on his Instagram story, saying, "I think it's time for another one at Champagne Poppy." This time around, even Drake's fans recognized that there wasn't much for the Six God to gain from teaming up with BlocBoy ever again. Some even have gone far as to comment things like, Drake probably avoiding watching that story right now, and BlocBoy fell off. No waves to ride there for the boy. Rather than being the megastar that Look Alive set him up to be, BlocBoy is now left in obscurity, and his fallout is
2.5 is still good. It's just that I don't think he's ever gonna really make that jump. I like his mindset on I like his mindset on the whole thing about him just keep going, then he'll finally get there. But
being mocked
after
by
that,
fellow
it's
rappers like
kind of tough.
Yeah, he fell off.
It's kind of tough.
I don't care.
Damn.
He shouldn't have said nothing about me. He fell off. He do not got no money like me. He should
Who the
have
fuck
came
are
at me.
you?
He fell off.
Who
all
is
that
this?
dancing and doing this with the leg shit is over with.
Who is this?
It's over with, bro. You don't got it.
Once riding a wave that Drake hopped on, only to jump off before it faded, BlocBoy isn't alone in briefly benefiting from Drake's knack for recognizing what's hot in the culture. Sometimes this phenomenon even extends to rappers from Drake's own city, which was the case for a rapper by the name of Smiley. An underground MC from Toronto,
So that
Smiley
was
started his
Smiley?
career rhyming with the Garden Gang Click. After
That
a
was
2015
Smiley?
stint in jail derailed his momentum, Smiley got his
shit.
initial exposure through tracks like 9 on Me. And soon, Drake could be seen rapping his track from the pool.
My dance, 9 shots in my pants. All land, that's a label. One chillin' with no cable. Now I'm popping and annoying. Wow, I don't join it.
Officially on Drake's radar
That
since
was
2017.
so gay. He looked so gay.
Officially on Drake's radar since 2017, he soon signed to Drake's OVO label.
That's
and
crazy.
to him, it seemed like the perfect scenario. At that point, Drake really started pushing him heavily on social media.
I seen a picture with you and Ross, and Drake captions the shit that you're his favorite rapper.
Oh, yeah. Right?
He said that with Black Boy JB. He gonna say it with everybody. He's lying to your ass.
Like, when you seen that.
His love song, he's already said things like that too already, so I was like,
I just surprised he posted.
Nah, his shit is. Damn, his shit's strong. I mean his teeth.
Yeah.
I mean his teeth.
With that kind of cosign, he started to believe that he was the one.
Sure, it's like I've finally gotten to embrace everything. Like, you know, I understand it, but like I've been like that. I've been asking myself like, why me? Why me? But I'm gonna keep asking myself that for how long now? Like, you know, you know, real shit. Why me? But it's love. Like that's what's crazy. Cause now I even see what he sees. Real shit. Like, you know, it's crazy. It's like, I do believe, like...
But unfortunately for Smiley, no one else saw it. And when he finally got the Drake cosign on 2021's Over the Top, his flow got clowned by the masses, and everyone pretty much thought he fumbled his opportunity.
What am I listening to?
Nah, bro, cause this shit. Listening to. Nah, bro.
That was actually funny. That was actually pretty funny.
It getting me hot, but I ain't gonna lie.
The comments were
take
just
his
as
shirt off, he got hot.
one of the hardest verses from Drake in a long time, and Smiley does this.
Nah,
Smiley sounds like he
verse
has
was
tickle battles
nasty
with his
there.
homeboys. Despite the fact that the track got number 57 on the chart, his 2021 album, Buy or Buy 2, sold abysmally, clocking in at just 1.5k
Holy
units in his
shit.
first week. Since then, he's barely been a factor, but has denied falling off, without any real evidence to back it up, aside from the fact that he was chilling on a boat. But falling by the
your ass
wayside
fell
in
off
Drake's
and you're about to
priorities
fall
after
off
he
the
hit
boat.
isn't exactly anything new. I mean, just look at what happened to I Love McConan,
Nah, his
another
shit
artist who acquired Drake's attention from a
went
self-released
down.
project.
His shit went down the drain.
His
Holy
debut EP
shit.
popped off, courtesy of tracks like Tuesday and I Don't Sell Molly No More. After putting in a call to producer Sonny Digital, Drizzy got his hands on the track, and suddenly, McConnan's life changed.
Then when Drake got on it, what'd you say?
Oh man, I fainted in the house. Saw that little video, and I was like, what the hell happened? You know what I'm saying? I was just tripping with my friends, you know what I'm saying, smoking weed, hanging out. Somebody tweeted me a link like, oh, that new Drake and I Love McConan is fire. And I just favored it, like, oh yeah, that would be dope. He must mean like if me and Drake made a track, right, that would be hot. Right. I was like, yeah, that would be hot. The official OVO page tweeted me and was like, Drake, I Love McConan featuring Drake, Tuesday remix. And I was like, what the hell? I was like, no way. I met Drake after the show, after watching the show and shit. And then he came up to me singing some more lyrics from like I Don't Sell Molly and all that. And I was just like, what? How do you know my music? You know what I'm saying?
Soon after that, McConan signed to OVO.
Nah, this nigga Drake is a leech. And I don't mean that in the fact that he's a leech. He's sucking the soul out of these. Bro, he's a fucking leech. Holy shit.
thought he won the
Because how are you even finding out about a nigga named I Love McConan? This nigga's a leech,
This
bro.
free lottery.
In Atlanta, he's from... I won't discredit him loving music. I won't discredit that. But I even say it at the end. He's still a leech. And I get underground, but... I just don't get it. I just do not get it. I don't. Y'all can help me understand, because I don't understand.
Just a year after he got signed, the Californian was lifting the lid on the experience, and even claimed that Drake threatened to put hands on him at one point. In a lengthy interview with The Fader, McConan expressed how he felt like Drake and his crew were, quote, scared when they saw how easily he could cook up some bangers.
He said he was making bangers. Nigga, we saw that Tim Westwood freestyle, nigga. You weren't making shit. You weren't making no bangers, nigga. I get it's a freestyle. It was off the top. The shit was it was still trash, but I can understand you was using a pen and pad the first times, but even still, like, the trash.
Before expressing how he felt betrayed by Drake's camp for the way he was treated when he entered their orbit. Why y'all want to play games? Why didn't y'all just tell me you didn't want to fuck with me anymore and just let me go about my own way? Why did y'all make me chase you all the way the fuck around and make me look like a fucking fool? Why would you do this? I was threatened by others.
Why would you
someone I
even
so-called
chase them?
look up to, saying, we gon' fuck you up the next time we see you. Believing that OVO only signed him because they needed a hot song, McConan has stayed on his independent grind. But nothing's ever hit the same since he had this misadventure with OVO. But while there might have always been a ceiling on McConan's success anyways, one person who many think has been held back by his association with Drake is Party Next Door.
Oh,
an R&B
shit.
pioneer in the eyes
I would have never had guessed that was that nigga in my wildest dreams.
Fans, the fellow Canadian has been clicked up with Drake since 2014. And while The Weeknd refused to sign to OVO, Party Next Door was happy to sign his name on the dotted line. I could go to a label where they don't know how to handle me and they don't care, he said of his decision. Or I'll have a mentor who's been through it, who knows exactly what I want to mean to my city and what I want to achieve. They know how to handle your emotions. I'll have freedom and guidance. Even though he claimed to have all this freedom, he later revealed in an interview that he had to give Drake the track Wednesday Night Interlude for one of his projects, even though he wanted it for himself. But there's no denying that Drake made a really big impact for him. In 2016, Come and See Me got him onto the charts. And in 2019, Loyal became his biggest commercial success so far. But there's times where P&D's frustration with his role at OVO has boiled over, particularly when it comes to writing for other artists.
I'm 23, but I feel 43, you know what I mean? That's something to write for these other people.
P&D has faced criticism for either sharing his hits with Drake or finding his biggest successes alongside him. He once tweeted and deleted his plans to leave the label after one more album, in November of 2020, when he wrote, "One more album, then I'll tell y'all what it's like." But now that so much time has passed, it's hard to imagine that even as talented as he is, that he could ever reach the full potential he had before wasting valuable time on the shelf at OVO. As for others, the Drake cosign seemed to come at the perfect time, only to be unable to capitalize. This was definitely the case for Young Blue, an Alabama artist who initially made waves back in 2017 with Miss It. Blue has always had clear star power, but when his buzz started to take a little dip, having Drizzy hop on 2020's Your Mind Still changed everything for him. Before that, he was battling to get a fair deal from record labels and almost signed his life away on what would have been a terrible contract. But the minute that he was seen next to Drizzy, he suddenly had leverage.
The deal they was offering me, it was like a lot of projects involved in that. Like, I was just like, man, I ain't got no other choice, like, man. I'm just gonna take the opportunity, huh? Three projects or something? Like 4. And they wanted my old masters. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, hell to the fucking no.
And it was a late number like 250 type shit.
2.5 million?
No, 250,000. Like advance. Okay, just put it in perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't really know, but it sounds to me like this nigga was about to get ripped the fuck off. Holy crap.
Before the Drake record dropped, well, as soon as the Drake record dropped, I was having bidding wars between $8 and $9 million.
Really?
Yeah.
The lead single from his album Moon Boy, the record peaked at number 12, and soon after, it was blowing up like crazy. But to this day, Your Mind Still has doubled the plays of his next most popular song. And while albums like 2023's Love Scars 2 did alright, he still hasn't been able to get a hit that comes anywhere close to the impact of the collab with the Six God. Through these artists, we get a glimpse into the potential negative effects of getting the Drake stimulus package. But why does this happen to so many of them? And who exactly is to blame? Drake's critics often suggest that there are hidden reasons behind his collaborations. Since his rise to fame, he's faced accusations of capitalizing on others' sounds or leveraging their hype for his own gain. Back in 2015, when he first started co-signing Kodak Black, Earl Sweatshirt called him a vulture on Twitter, where he wrote,
"That nigga's a leech, holy shit."
I feel like Drake's overall statement isn't, "Check this new shit I heard." It's always self-serving, and a lot of people agree. Drake obviously embraces the curator/trendsetter persona, and he's decent enough at it. But it doesn't ever seem like he manages long-term working relationships with these artists he quote-unquote discovers.
He doesn't. There's no way he's finding Marconi. Like, how are you discovering Marconi?
Fetty or McConan, it feels like nothing can happen in hip-hop without him. He's a vampire. But according to Drake, it's nothing as sinister as that. Whether it's UK rap or Afrobeat he's tapping into, it's just because he's a music lover.
I like to enjoy what's going on, man. I appreciate, like, all these young people creating all these things. You know, it takes some real energy and synergy to, like, create a good song.
Yeah.
Like, I hate that people think that, like, me being, like, into music from these kids that are
and I really believe that, what he's saying, because, you know, when he was doing the Grassy, he had all these shit. But this nigga's a leech, bro. This nigga's a leech. Who was finding out about I Love Marconi, bro? Please tell me who's finding out about him. Who's finding out about 4 Bats? I get the song that blew up, but we all know what happened to make that shit blow up. But who's knowing about these niggas, bro?
Yeah. Trying to build a name for themselves is like, oh, that's some culture vulture. Like, what does that even mean? I don't understand.
And it pissed me off that he really spitting like shit on these when he's getting on these features, bro. I swear.
That means
that
would you
Smiley,
rather me,
his
like,
shit was nasty.
Like, acknowledge anything or support, like, that's some hater shit, but it is what it is. I see it a lot, and I guess people have their own outlook on it.
But it's fair to say that not everyone thinks it's as straightforward as that. In the eyes of the TDE rapper Daylight, he'll just use them up and throw them away.
We live in an era where people need to suck other people's juice. So they're going to make friends with him, especially you know who. He's going to make friends with him. He's going to try to do a song with him and feed off of him like he does every other. What's going to happen is they're going to get on your records, they're going to take your style, and they're going to blow up, and then when you dry out, they're going to keep going.
And when you look at the careers of people like Blockboy JB and McConnen, he might have a point. Then you have the problems he faces with the artists on his label. Similar to P&D's experience, there's a feeling that many of the artists are fueling the Drake machine. OVO's Majid Jordan once described a studio setup that was way more similar to a boot camp than it was to a recording session, where artists are secluded, working tirelessly on projects without outside contact. The result? Well, it gave us hits like Just Hold On, We're Going Home, which, as many of you know, is one of Drake's most popular tracks. But it's stories like this that alter some fans' perceptions to the point that they believe Drake operates a musical sweatshop disguised as a label. So when his newest signee, 4Bats, joined, they were trying to warn him about what to expect. Welcome to the sweatshop, 4Bats. Your stay is indefinite.
But I don't even think these people are able to drop off the label, or if they want to, are able to, because they probably wouldn't want to. I don't know.
There are definitely problems that arise from the Drake stimulus package.
Drake has successfully cleared himself of a number 2. This was artistry and wizardry at its finest. Hear me out. Drake rocked all these newcomers to sleep that could be possibly an incumbent. Okay, little baby, all right, bet. You know, see, Drake never hates on the new guy. He just shows him overly love and almost gets credit for the new guy come up. Then after a while, he steps away from the nigga, and shit never looks the same.
But when it comes down to it, Drake is ultimately free to give a feature to whoever he wants. And if they're not on his label, he doesn't owe them anything else. In fact, while it might give these rappers a buzz in wake of the track dropping, it's not his job to give them a whole career.
Facts. And I can very much
For years,
agree with that part of the whole thing, but I'm gonna stick with what I said about Drake. I really do think he's a leech, like, because how are you, like, these people that are coming up, how are you finding out about them? I get you're listening, but there's no way you're making your own shit, right? I hope so. And then you have a record label and so you have to worry about that. So it's kind of hard for me to believe it. But other than that, I'm out of here. I love y'all, bro. This shit crazy. I don't even get it, bro. I don't get it.